on one second. Let me just get everything situated. And let's see. Is it not going?
It's tech night with the full moon in Aries. Oh, all kinds of havoc.
It's a full moon in Aries. Well, here we go. It's coming now. Let's see.
Better for you than for me.
What's that? Okay, here we go.
Well, the full moon in Aries is good for your Sag, not good for my Scorpio, though.
Oh, it is. It's good for a Sag, full moon in Aries.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's good for Sag. It's good for Sag energy. Yeah. I mean, if you can handle it, because it's potent energy. This energy is off the charts, crazy. I've been boom, pop, snap all day, like, just trying to center it and ground it in whatever way I can.
It's like, what energy isn't potent now? It's like every day there's something potent, it's
exactly. But today was definitely off the charts, like cray for me. It was just really? Emotionally volatile, like Mount Vesuvius of energy today. Wow. Yeah, for me it was very highly energized. Yeah, I was feeling it since this morning and still feeling it now.
So what was that?
Sorry. So I have a funny story. Yeah, I have a funny story to tell about this whole screensaver LED stand thing. So I went to, I ordered one on Amazon with a light because I wanted to look, good on the show, and it didn't work. So I had to bring it back to Kohl's, and then I went to Walmart and they didn't have one. And then I went to Target and they had one, but it was a piece of crap designed to fail. And it was poorly made, and I don't buy this product. It's really a piece of shit. So what I did was, it's funny, I rigged the light from it into that, and I using a guitar stand as a phone holder.
There you go.
So makeshift, right? Yeah, just improv, but total off the wall cray today. Nothing really is coming together. So one of those energetically kind of frazzled days.
Nothing's coming
here
together.
I am, and
well, it's good to have you here.
Yeah, not today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for coming in and on this volatile Mount Vesuvius day. I guess I don't know. There must be some truth to what you said about the Aries moon and Sag. I'm feeling pretty.
You feel good. Yeah,
I feel.
Yeah.
But so what was that like today? I mean, were you having things come up, or what was going on?
Nothing just seemed to come together energetically. I was trying to work with spirit to channel and bring things together, but nothing was coming together. But in the messiness, the dance of the messy journey, right? That's where the magic all happens. And I had beautiful communications with Starseed Lightworker friends and relatives, and just beautiful healing came out of this day. So as long as it's a healing day, I'm good with that. And always aligned with healing.
What part of the country are you in?
I'm in Asheville, North Carolina, United States.
You're in Asheville. Okay. Yes, you're in Asheville, North Carolina. Okay. I was thinking Asheville. Okay.
Yeah. I live in the mountains, here in the mountains. Yeah, it's very beautiful, very magical, very, very beautiful place to live, because some of the mountains are constructed entirely of quartz. And it's very powerful. You can feel the energy from some of these vortexes and ley lines and various things that exist through Asheville and the surrounding areas.
I'm over in Arkansas.
Not to
mention, I'm over in Arkansas, and I've heard many times, obviously, about Arkansas, but also I've heard about North Carolina, kind of being like Sedona, Shasta, but have been under the radar, that are coming out, I guess, in a way. I don't know.
That's an accurate description. I would go with that. Yeah. That works, but not quite as energetically as potent as Sedona, I would say. Not anywhere near it, but
Sedona is,
like exactly as you described. Yeah.
Just has some quality to it. But yeah, you're right. Sedona is like a super cosmic highway of all different.
No, come on.
You're good.
Come on.
You're good. No. We can hear. We can hear you.
Okay, we're good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Yeah, the energies are intense. So, yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about Franco and Franco de Nicola. And we talk in terms of like of gurus and healers and magicians that have come to this planet, like Jesus and Buddha, Muhammad, Confucius, those type souls. And I believe with every fiber of my being, I believe that Franco was one of these beings, like super evolved, super highly, just energetically off the charts. And he leaves a legacy of great teaching and healing and love. And he'll always be remembered, but we're going to carry on his love and and really holding space for you, Todd, because I know how close you were to him, and I know how challenging this must be for you right now.
It's interesting that you say that. We talked a little bit about it on the two previous shows, but I've got no sadness whatsoever. Kimberly called me at 5 a.m, and I just I had been talking with my wife earlier that night, and we were kind of talking through everything. And in that discussion, as she was kind of like pointing some things out, I realized, maybe there was a triad. Maybe he was there with us, but I just knew he was going, because he'd set everything up perfectly. He's done 200 videos in advancing consciousness.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
in the past 2 years. There's so many different things, but no, and I haven't even looked at my messages, because there's probably 75 messages, people, and I appreciate their intention, but to me, it's a celebration. It's an expansion. He expanded. We've all expanded. It's not, it's not what we've made it to be. I think it's also interesting that we had that gathering his son put together last night, and I
so
think
heartfelt. I'm so stirring.
Yeah. But I think it's just this whole death program. It's the biggest program, and I think there's going to be a lot of transition in the coming months. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not what it seems. But I had a brief experience after I got the phone with her, and he was present, and it just is what it is. There's no effort there. It's just the world's changing, and our perception of that will transform as well. So I don't have any sadness. Obviously, I'd love to do another show with him, but I know that we're collaborating as we speak, and so it's a new world, and he's as bigger. He's a bigger part of it now than he was before he transitioned this morning. So, but I appreciate the comments. Yeah,
very
much
so.
I do agree.
And
I love your
I love their perspective of celebration. Yeah,
absolutely.
Celebrating it. Yeah, celebrating.
It's an expansive moment. Beautiful. For everyone that is because we're all connected. So I just I see it as a celebration. I see the different expressions that I did see out on Facebook, and which really, it all goes back to self. And if there's, what feeling might be directed at other people, whatever that may be, it's really about yourself. And we are the center of the universe. And, so many of these things that we were able to sit with Franco and discuss, and he shed light on so many things. So I agree with you. I do think he was a very unique, incarnated being. And again, that footprint will live in perpetuity, not just in this realm, but beyond it. So, it must be cold over there. You got your your flannels on.
Well said. So, it's pretty chilly tonight, but just a fall day, beautiful weather. Just magical as all get out. So, Todd, I love this synchronicity. You are the teacher, and I am the student. So this is a beautiful synchronicity, although it could be very one-sided if we're not careful.
I don't think so.
I have a lot of questions to ask you.
That's fine. This is a conversation.
You don't think so? Okay.
No, I don't think I'm the teacher.
Yeah, we're flowing.
I'm the student, always.
Oh, you are. Well, you're student. We're all students and teachers, but you're principally the teacher, I believe. Yeah. So I have some questions to ask you about 5D, and I want to know, as we incarnate into this 5D and raise our energy, frequency, and vibration through ascension, is it going to be more like a unified field where polarity and duality will collapse in on itself, and it'll just be like a unified field of love, or what is it
I don't
what's
know.
going to happen there?
I don't know. I don't know. All I have is
That's
my
what I'm
own.
feeling. I'm feeling like
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's going to be integration between the feminine and masculine, yin and yang energies are going to integrate. And then the duality and polarity has to implode or something, because in a higher consciousness field, I don't think it's going to be polarized or duality like we know it in a 3D sense.
Oh, I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so. I would think, unity consciousness is unity consciousness. I am not a teacher. I'm not saying that to disown any attribute I may have, but what I'm trying to say is there's 7.8 billion souls walking the earth. There's 7.8 billion earths as far as I'm concerned. But I do think that,
Yeah.
I mean, my personal opinion is this whole 5D thing, anything, different words, ascension, twin flame, any of those words, they've lost their original. Not that it's not a bad thing. It's just that I really feel like we're actually in a much higher frequency. Certainly, people are. Maybe not every single person. I think there's a variety of dimensional frequencies people are existing in. Maybe they go back and forth, but I think, sixth dimension, seventh dimensions present, ninth dimension. I think there's other dimensions, and we're having access to all of them. What that will look like, I don't know. The only thing I know, it just seems to be very apparent the last few weeks, especially, that something's changed, has wholeheartedly changed. There's a huge feminine presence, mother presence, you might say, that's taking it's almost like an off-planet force, something we're so unfamiliar with, that's just having its way, and I'm excited about that. And the other thing I would say would be that it's all happening, whether it's happening as a result of the internal work we're doing, or whether it's happening anyway, or both, it's happening. That's all I can say. So it's just like, moment by moment, just this is
Gaia's she's just increasing her energy frequency vibration. It's time, harmonic convergence, right? And the Kali Yuga and all the good stuff. I mean, here we are, the end of materialism, the end of the top to bottom paradigm, right? So we think of control in terms of corporations, governments, elites, and then the ETs pulling on the elites. But this is going to be in the age of Aquarius, the bottom to top, healing circles. And I'm getting beautiful visions of like small healing circles, like this is the way that we change the planet, grassroots healing, connecting in small circles. This is the top healing, and very much a different paradigm from anything we've known in the last 10,000 or so years.
Yeah.
It's all been about control from the top down.
Yeah.
And now the liberation of humankind, which we're coming into, right? So I was talking to Robin Cabral this morning, and I wonder if she's joining me, but she talked about like this corruption and confusion and chaos that's going on, and really we're trying to bring it into equilibrium, right? We're trying to bring it into a state of equilibrium, because from equilibrium we can establish harmony and peace and love. But we have to bring this chaos into equilibrium somehow, or it has to come to flux, because it's just too cray-cray right now. And all these energies are just, I'm trying to channel and alchemize and transmute what I can, but I'm certainly not capable of healing the whole planet. That's why we have to pull together. And that's why we're all in this together. So our love is what's going to heal this. We know this, right? Yeah. These are truths.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's just, to me, that's the only thing I do know, is I don't know. I mean that. I don't mean that in a, like a spiritual bypassing way. I just, I was talking to my friend.
Right.
I was talking to my friend Miguel Dean in the first show today. And as we were talking, just like this, you get revelation, you get epiphany. And as he was explaining some things, I kind of saw like how each one of us is what we are. And like, I pictured like this big tower, say on top of the North Pole, and all our frequency is going to that tower. So we're sending it, we're depleting ourselves, kind of thing. Whereas he was talking about how recently he started taking the hair, he's got long hair, taking the hair out of his hairbrush, and when he would go on his nature walks, share it with the earth. And I just pictured like a person who like all of us, had been sending their signal to this one tower, which you're calling the top of the pyramid or whatever, how this one person now sends it to what he is, and all that is, which, in this case is the earth, the mother, and how there's no longer that transmission's going to that tower, and how people are just doing that more and more every day. And I think that's kind of where we're at. So I don't know, like, do we have to do anything? I was picking up last night that we've already done it, and I've heard that before, and I've heard other people say it, but like, do we have to do anything? I mean, that urgency and that sense of we've got to do something, maybe that's part of what's breaking down as well. Maybe we're just to be, to be like a child where everything comes from our imagination, and we experience everything from our imagination. In some way that will materialize to some degree or another. I mean, I don't know how it works. I don't really know.
Yes. Yeah. But I agree with you. It's not in the trying. It's like we've already done this, and it's beautiful. We can feel these, right? And these shifts are so massive. I'm very sensitive to energy and feel like things I've never felt before, and feel telepathy coming in, and starting to see out of my third eye and getting visuals there. And beautiful things are happening, right? For many beings. I work with people as a healer, and I'm a counselor at a substance abuse facility, and people are energetically all over the map. One person is here, one person is there. It's crazy, but they're all like seem to be opened up spiritually in a way that I've never seen before in doing this work. So I try to get in, for those that are open to it, I when I'm in spiritually, the healing really occurs on that beautiful level. But otherwise, it's just psychological stuff at that point, until I can really get in with them. But beautiful, and people are energetically like just really all over the map, crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting.
More spirituality, definitely.
What's that?
In the 3D world.
Oh yeah, there was a lag. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, it's interesting because I've noticed since the end of 2019 that I'm doing the show, that a lot of practitioners talked about how their sessions were changing, their modalities were changing or dropping, the new modalities, and then they also would talk about how their clientele's changing, and people are opening up, and the hearts are opening up or breaking open. And then to your comment too about people being all over the place, it's not just like, say for instance, if I'm sitting in this chair observing the world, I see all different energies outside there. And so, like, to your point about being all over the place, but also each individual is all over the place, like I can speak for myself. I mean, there's all types of things happening every day, and and it's but there's a weird clarity coming in. And to your point too about people experiencing more vision from their third eye, and telepathy and intuition. So I think we're doing a great job. Beautiful creature there. Beautiful soul.
We're really kicking some butt. Beautiful. Oh yeah, she is. She's Gypsy. This is my roommate's cat, but she has an affinity to me. I don't know, but we have a soul connection, and she's very beautiful and magical. And she needs to be fixed though. She goes in heat, and it's really cruel for her. We're gonna get her fixed really soon, so she can taper down her energies. But she is a beautiful creature. Thank you. Yeah, so blessed.
So did you have a wake-up experience, or were you always connected, or did you have some things happen to wake you up?
I was always connected for spirit. Yeah, I've always been connected with spirit ever since I was a young child. I've known I'm not alone, but how that spirit looked to me has changed as I've changed, right? So initially, my mother was Jewish, 199.97% Ashkenazi Jew, so I could carry Christed bloodlines in my veins. And that is an exciting possibility. It doesn't make me feel any better about myself or make me any more worthy, but it's nice to know that there could be the blood of Jesus flowing through my veins. So my mother was a Jew, and my father, my biological father, was Japanese, and they were both artists in New
Wow.
York City in the village.
Wow.
And yeah,
That's awesome.
and so she
What,
was
in
his
the
student.
60s
She was
or 50s
in the
yeah.
60s, yeah, 60s. I was born
Wow.
in 63, so yeah, it was a happening time. And she was his student. So he was much more skilled at art. You know, he was a really good artist than my biological father. He had a little studio in New York City, in a village down there. And anyway, yeah, so there's that. I don't know where I was going with this. I don't know. What did you ask me again? Sorry.
Well, I don't know what I asked you, but your parents must have
Oh,
run
how
in.
I woke up. How I woke up.
Yeah.
How I woke up. How I woke up. Yeah. Yeah. So the awakening journey was I was sent to temple as a kid because I was Jewish, right? But I hated temple because the rabbi was so strict and serious. And I felt afraid of him. I was really scared of this guy. It was dark and candles and kind of, like, and it was very serious. There's all these things you got to do and learn the Torah. And it was like too rigorous for me. So at 13, I got dunked because it was a much more palatable religion. It was easier. So I got baptized and believed in Jesus. And Miss Trudy with Sunday school and milk and cookies was like, it was an easy religion, right? But my relationship with Source has always been there. I've been deeply connected with spirit my whole life. And, the more I look back on my life, Todd, it's interesting. I come back to this scene in my crib when my first memory on the planet. My first memory, I'm about 2 years old or maybe three, 1965 in Brooklyn, New York. And my first memory keeps haunting me because I didn't know how to speak. I didn't have words. I didn't have language, but I knew intuitively in that moment there was something to accomplish here in this incarnation. There was something that needed to be done. And I realized I was on a journey, a mission. And I always come back to that point because it's beautiful to realize that without words, even without words, instinctually, I knew there was a reason and purpose I came to this planet. And I'm totally aligned with that vision. But yeah, as the years went on, I did fall away from spirit for a while. I got into drug addiction pretty hard. I was down for a long time. I actually died in 2003, had a near-death experience. That's where I got most of my intuitive gifts from when I crossed over to the other side. And it's been beautiful ever since I was given a choice to come back at the end, but I really didn't want to leave. I love that light. It was so beautiful and so magical and so healing and so soothing. And there's nothing like source light. I mean, it's the most beautiful, magical light that you'll ever feel in your whole life. And everything about me, but I was told I had more work to do in the human. So I came back and I've been aligned with my path as a healer since 2003. I've helped many people and still aligned with the path of love and helping people heal.
Hmm. Wow. Do you remember the out of body near death experience
I
pretty
do.
well?
Bits and pieces come back because I died of a drug overdose. So bits and pieces come back, and typically drug overdoses don't have the NDE. But I had such a strong spiritual experience that bits and pieces come out. It's not a total unified experience. It's like comes back in flashbacks and pieces that come back at times. But yeah, and I did get all my gifts, and I changed my personality, and I knew I was aligned with the path of healing and love and helping this planet, evolve.
So were you able to
So
kick
that,
drugs from that moment, or did you still have to go through that
yeah,
process?
no, I had to go through a couple more relapses. I really had to go deep into the addiction thing, and I had to go through multiple substances, the cocaine. There were opiates. It was really hard for me. I was really lost to myself, and my whole healing journey has been realizing that I am a beautiful soul, like I am divine and magical and sacred and sovereign. and freeing myself from the shame and low self-esteem that kept me trapped in insecurity and fear and, like in loathing and all that self-pity and victimization and all that low shit, right? That 3D stuff. So I actually spent 11 years healing myself, and it was beautiful. I was sent to 3 rehab centers, and my ex-wife was supporting my recovery. She was beautiful, brilliant, Capricorn. We're still very good friends. Doral, if you're watching, I love you. And I just spent 11 years of self-care. I go to yoga, I lost weight, I got in shape, I ate right. I like self-love. It was all self-love. Take care of my body, get exercise, eat good, all the requisite stuff, right, that comes with loving yourself instead of hate. And I learned how to empower myself, and I learned how to become an empowered empath, an empath with boundaries, an empath that was not going to cave into an energy vampire, like, and holds the line for energy vampires. And just, I really work well with energy. It's one of my gifts.
So how did you heal yourself over that 11 years? Were you using specific modalities?
Good question.
Were you downloading information? What was happening?
So what happened was a spiritual transformation occurred on me. And I was working with several therapists. I did thousands of hours of individual therapy with therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, anyone that would sit me down and listen and help me heal. I was really on a healing path. I wanted to heal me. So I spent all the time and put the group sessions in and did the gut-wrenching individual healing work and group counseling work and actually led groups, and then worked through 12-step recovery. And in 12-step, I went to NA, AA, I went to refuge recovery, Al-Anon, anything. I worked the 12 steps in 4 different programs. And I also had a bit of a sex addiction too at that time too, because, I was just trying to get comfort and relief from the feeling of being disconnected from myself and disconnected from everyone else. So I had to do step work in that program too, SA. So in doing this healing work, it led me on the healing journey because I became a sponsor early on. I had a year recovery, and I became a sponsor, started volunteering, meeting with men principally, right? Because it's in NA, you stick to your gender. And I would meet with men and start working with men and helping men heal and work with them on their addictions and their recovery and their self-care. And it was beautiful for me because it really gave me confidence as the healer that I am. I've always been a healer, though. Even before that, I was a pharmacist. So I have a 2 degrees in pharmacy. I have a bachelor's and a doctorate, PhD in pharmacy from the University of Colorado. But I've always been a healer my whole life. But this was magic. This was healing on a level that I'd never seen because it was so intimate and it was so beautiful. And you could see the changes in people, and they really, they loved the work, and you give them a little bit of love and it lights them up. And that's how we heal, through love, right? That's how we heal anything, because addiction is based on trauma, right? It's all trauma programming, trauma, seeking relief. Most of addiction is based on trauma, I would say. I think trauma is the gateway drug for sure. And so I work with people on helping heal their trauma every day, which is beautiful. We go down to the gates of hell, descend down into those shadows, pull them out, like look at them, let them dance around and then heal them and let them feel them and let them, it's just beautiful.
So when you work with
beautiful
people,
path.
You work with people with substance abuse issues, number one. And I think number two, you work with people, say like from these communities, people that are okay. Do you use the same method with the people that are in the, let's just say, the traditional fold, like in substance abuse community? Do you use the same techniques or processes as you do with people you might meet in the lightworker community?
That's a good question, and that's a very fair question. So I do some energetic work behind the scenes, like in my 3D healing. I'm always aware of the soul journey and their soul contracts and different things and their karmic relationship with themselves and their ancestral. I'm always like doing the energetic healing behind the scenes. And those that are open, I actually have a couple Starseed Lightworker clients, which
Right.
is amazing. That is beautiful because then we can do some really serious healing.
So do you find that
because
like when you're, so there's a lag. So, So do you find that when you're working with people that are in the substance abuse community or area, that when you're doing the energy work behind the scenes, is it the same type of effect or outcome as you would if somebody was going into it openly, knowing you were doing energy work and speaking openly about it?
No, there's no way it could be, because they're not engaged in that level and they're not open spiritually. So the whole thing is to get them open spiritually, right? And when they're open spiritually, there's the work I can do, like completely, and we can heal all the things. But you have to get them to. There has to be permission, because this is energetic work, right? And I have to obtain
Absolutely.
permission.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
but in terms of getting them to open up spiritually, how do you get someone to open up spiritually in that
Good question. Good question, Todd. You're really on it. So I work in meditation. I try to calm them down and I get them to breathe and extend their breath. And then we do some breathing meditations, and I teach them some mantras, breathing mantras. And from the meditation space, it opens them up spiritually beautifully. We do a guided healing meditation. And when they're there, they're spiritual. It's beautiful. They've let go of themselves and they're connected to the greater whole at that point. So yeah, that's the way I usually do it, through meditation. Good question.
Do you find that you might see the same programs in those people that you're talking about as the same programs as you might see with people that come to you from the lightwork community?
Yes, I think they're similar. I mean, darkness is darkness, polarity is polarity, right? Shame, fear, hurt, loneliness, sadness, grief, loss. We all have these feelings of deep deep pain. We're wounded, right? This is wounding, right? We're talking about collective wounding, and we all have the similar woundings, right? We all have shame and fear and sadness and loneliness and hurt and regrets and grief and loss. And this is the pain, right? The emotional wounding. Yeah, so I think it's very similar. It's easier to work with the starseed light worker, because then there's spirituality there, and you can do all kinds of wonderful things. But yeah, it's the same stuff.
Well, I would imagine that whether you're in one of those arenas or the other, that for the most part, now I've been in the system and I had to go through some things, and I realize that some people that might be in the substance abuse community may not be open to change, open to growth. But I would imagine that most of the people that you come across have a desire to expand. Would that be true?
They're sick and tired of being strung out on dope and being broke all the time and having to obtain money. It's like a trap. It's such slavery. It's like slavery within the slavery system, right? So when you're stuck in addiction, your life is a living hell, because you got to get more, right? Your life is based on getting more of this thing, and you need more money and more. It's just, and then your problems that you're medicating are still there stewing, and they're getting higher and higher as the addiction is ramping up too. So it doesn't work on any level. If it did work, everybody would be an addict, right? But clearly it doesn't. It's a pattern.
Yeah, because there's obviously a certain level of stigma in that environment. I noticed when I had to go to AA meetings for a couple of years, and as part of my sentence, or whatever you want to call it. And I noticed, because I went to a lot of different groups, and I noticed that in many of the groups, not all of them, but in many of the groups, there was a stigma that I noticed wasn't being detached from. Almost like when somebody stands up and says, "Hello, I'm Todd, I'm an alcoholic." Like that's almost, and I know enough about that program. That program was founded in theory by the work of Emmett Fox, who I really loved him. He was a big bridge for me in the early years. But I like a lot of things that we've seemed to now outgrow them. And I wonder, like in that environment, are you seeing any of that? Are you seeing where you're in spaces where it's the let's just say the expansion of the collective consciousness is showing itself even in groups like that don't technically consider themselves a starseeder light worker.
Oh yeah, it's a spiritual awakening, and it's beautiful. I mean, people that are not really spiritual are opening up spiritually. You can see it, I can feel it. I have conversations with people. Everyone at my work talks about their astrology, and that's never been a thing. Like, it's always been, hush hush. But everybody's like, what's your sign? What's your energy? I want to do healing. They're very interested and open to this stuff. They want to come in my office and hang out with me, like, and heal. This is beautiful, right? So this is the staff we're talking about. So amazing synchronicities. I'm seeing, people opening up spiritually in beautiful ways that I've never seen before. Wow. And and the unawakened are awakening. It's beautiful, magical time on Earth.
And the ones that think they're awakening are
sprouting.
I just so like God, I was going to ask you something. God, I forgot now. There we go with the 3D
something
mind.
In the way she moves.
I know what I was going to say. Now, do you, because everybody's different. Everybody has different experiences of communication with the infinite. Okay, the infinite intelligence.
Yes.
Do you have, are you one of those that interacts with the consciousnesses of the aspects that might be like divine essences or galactics or angelic, that type of thing, or elemental?
Yes, sir. All of it. Yeah, all of those realms. Yeah. There's so much Scorpio on my chart. It's easy for me to connect as a channel and a medium, and been doing that for a while. But and in sessions sometimes too, we channel in beings and other entities to help assist with the healing.
Now, do you get direct information that's specific to your own self, to your own life, like life decisions and
yes, I receive downloads. Yes, I do. I'm guided. I allow myself to be guided by spirit, and I'm in service to spirit. So been that way since 2003, and it'll be that way until I make my transition. So very aligned with the path of love and healing this planet and doing what I can to bring light and love. And I really like to take my healing and make it more global, like, somehow reach out internationally or through maybe Facebook or the internet. I really feel that there's a big need for the kind of healing that I can do in this world. And, I'm really, I have a lot of experience with this. And if you would allow me to, Todd, I would like to guide a little healing session for us here tonight. Would you allow me like 10 or 15 minutes?
Yeah, we can do that. I want to ask you a question though before that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's fine. I think a lot of us can relate to the wounded healer archetype. And a lot of times when we talk about the wounded healer archetype, we might think in terms of people that are healers or that are serving in some capacity. But I think it's also a pattern or a template of kind of overgiving, right? Like overgiving. And I know from my experience in the substance abuse, arena, and even just in the light worker arena too, where because of our traumas, because of our conditioning, we've had this thing where we want to prove our worthiness, which is the wounded healer. Prove our worthiness by how much we serve, forgetting ourselves. Did you have to struggle with that? Because I think there's a lot of people that are making that transition from wounded healer archetype to, let's say, Trinity energy archetype of healer, where they're equally serving self, the other, and the collective in equal measure. Did you have to struggle with that, or was that something that just happened naturally?
That's a good question, Todd. So I did so much self-care in the 11 years that I realized that my self-worth and validation is something that I have to take care of and nurture, right? It's like a baby and a child. So my self-care is, how do we love others? We love others out of our own self-love. Conversely, we hate others out of our own self-hate. So I really am very careful with my self-love and the way I speak to myself. I reprogram those negative voices that were internalized through the trauma years of my childhood. I chose a very challenging incarnation. I really had a lot of traumatic sexual abuse growing up. It was pretty horrific. And my stepfather came into my life when he was young. He didn't have a father, and he was very opposite of me. He was 6'2", 210, solid muscle, well inked, beautiful tattoos on him, and just a man's man, very manly man, like an Aries, total knight warrior kind of god. And that was my stepfather. He came into my life when I was 6. And so we were very different. I was a skinny, nerdy, cerebral, sensitive, feely kind of kid. And he didn't, he wanted a football player, man. And he got me instead. But we could have really done some beautiful work together. But, when he died back in 1987, or I don't know what year he died, but he looked me in the eye and shook my hand and gave me the firmest handshake, and just like he said goodbye to me. And that has always stuck in my memory. Like that's the total
It was a download.
Aries way out.
It was like a download, right?
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment in my life, but really hard. But what a dignified way to say goodbye. Just look your son in the eye, shake his hand, and and it's been great. And I miss him. And he's a guide, and we communicate regularly. So it's cool. All good. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, go ahead and take us through so many healing. Yeah, go ahead and take us through the healing.
All right. Want to do that. So everybody, allow yourself to relax. Everybody take a light stretch. Lift your arms above your head, maybe, and breathe in deeply. Breathe in. Hold your breath. Release. Good. Bring your arms down to your heart center. Let's find some gratitude. Gratitude for all the blessings, for all the abundance, for all the joy, for all the pain, for all the heartache, for all the lessons, for all the love, for all the joy, for all the exaltation, for everything that this human journey has afforded us. And it's been so rich, so deep, so powerful. So what a great experience. We're so blessed to be in this incarnation at this time on this planet with these changes occurring in this beautiful now moment of divine creation. And let's inhale together. This brings us together physically. And release. Good. One more breath in and release. And now Spirit is showing me a beautiful journey that we could go on. So they're saying that your vessel, the vehicle, is like your mind and body, right? That's what holds us down to the 3D earth, is our mind and body. So they're saying this is a cool message coming through. They're saying to view your mind and body as a car, okay? And we're going to park the car. We're going to park your mind and body in a very safe space. They want you to park it in the safest space possible, like in a garage with security, or, it's all good. Your car is so safe in the spot that we're going to park it. And you feel your hand turning the key and turning the engine off. The engine is your mind. The vehicle is your body, right? So we're going to turn the mind off and pull the key out. And here's the mastery skill that's necessary to get to the next step. You have to really see yourself, your mind and body in the car on the earth. As you open the window, you feel your heart, soul, and spirit levitate out as your spirit flying animals. So some of you are going to choose bees, some of you birds, some of you dragons, some of you phoenixes. What is your spirit flying animal? And you feel your soul, heart, and spirit levitating lightly. And if you do this correctly and you park your mind and body in the spot, you will feel your soul, heart, and spirit lift up, because the soul, heart, and spirit is not way down to the earth, and it levitates it naturally. Yeah, so join me in this beautiful field when you park your mind and body. And we're going to fly around. If you're a bee, you can pollinate some flowers. If you're a bird, give us a beautiful song with your bird. If you're a dragon, maybe you can breathe some fire. If you're a phoenix, maybe you can transform and transmute and alchemize some stuff, but whatever. I also feel some flying elephants and monkeys. Some of you have a sense of humor. That's pretty funny. Flying squirrels. Yeah, feel that too. Beautiful, beautiful. And we're going to allow ourselves to continue to rise. We're going to rise above the clouds, and we're rising as your spirit animal above the clouds. Keep ascending, keep lifting, lifting, lifting. Nice. And allow your spirit animal to ascend to a height above the earth, 1,111 meters. 1111 meters above, kilometers rather, kilometers. Thank you, Spirit. So 1111 kilometers above the planet, we see the globe, and we're flying, and we're forming a healing circle where we're levitating in beautiful synchronicity. And we're going to assemble around the earth, around the equator of the earth. As your spirit animal, we're going to invite in masters, all the masters, Raphael, Michael, Metatron, Saint Germain, all the beautiful Uriel, yeah, Santa Fe, all the masters are here. And we're going to invite in benevolent galactics to form this beautiful healing circle around with masters, galactics, and ascended humans. 144,000 is what I'm hearing around the earth, and we're going to pass light to each other. So as we're stationed around the equator, pass light to the person to the right of you and pass it counterclockwise, and let's go faster and faster with the light. Faster, faster with the light. Light, yeah, keep bringing the light, bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it. Come on, everybody, work together. Shift this light, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And stop the light, and now we're going to shift it in clockwise rotation. So send the light in clockwise rotation, send the light around the equator. And now the light is doing this atom thing where it's like going around every single piece of the earth atomically and just covering the light of that we're sending, transmitting all over every being. Every single space on the earth is being absorbed by our light that we're sending. Transmit the light, keep sending the light, keep sending the love. Beautiful, beautiful work, Starfleet. Beautiful work, beautiful. Whew. And now, out of this beautiful creation space, co-creation space, let's manifest for humanity. Let's manifest some peace, love, and light on this planet like it's never seen. Let's light this planet up like it's never been lit up with love and just goodness and kindness and compassion and empathy and caring and sharing and all the love energies. Sending light to every single soul, every single being, radiating the beautiful light. Yeah, keep sending it. Nice work, Starseeds. What else do we need to manifest? Maybe manifest a new government or new form of, and we can see the downfall of big oil, big pharma, all these big, like programs are going to be gone as the matrix collapses. Beautiful work, and manifest out of this beautiful 0 point space that we've created, co-created. Thank you, Spirit. And we're winding down, and they're saying to just connect in a beautiful circle where we're levitating around, beautiful, magical, and yeah, let's laugh together. It's fun, right? It's fun doing this healing stuff and changing the planet. It's really good work and great, nice work, Starfleet. Thank you. Whew. That's my transmission.
That was very, very, I like your enthusiasm.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. I like to make healing fun. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
So before we get out of here, I just want to ask you too, like, so where do you go from here? You talked about expanding your service, but I mean, how are you approaching what we used to call the future? How are you approaching the present?
And that's a great question, Todd. So as my role as a counselor is coming to an end, because with these vaccine mandates, I'm going to be terminated in approximately 3 weeks. So I no longer will be a counselor. I'm going to be a waiter. And I'll be a great fucking waiter. I'll take care of you. Like, I know you want the fish, right? It's all good. Use my intuition on that. And, but it's okay. I know that this is my path and I'm being led in a different spiritual direction. So it's all good. But I envision and I want to throw this by you. So what do you think about, I'm receiving all kinds of downloads as to how to heal and help bring the Starseed community together as one and unified, coherent community. I'm thinking like a video channel, like and call it Starseed TV and have 24-hour programming where we have like a yoga teacher sits in 1 week and she teaches yoga. Every morning we start with yoga, spiritual. We have the news, the real news. We have like interviews. Then we have, we could do some videos, but it can be really, we have great music. We have the fucking best musicians, Starseed Lightworkers. Yeah, man, we're going to have great music. And I'm just running that by the Starseed because we have the talent and this could be done on a shoestring budget. It could be done so cheaply. It could be done so cheaply. We could have like, actually Spirit is showing me these B type like campy graphics like Starseed TV with aliens and like hand-drawn things, and it could be so much fun. You have like this spirit moment, like and the ground shakes spirit moment, and then someone delivers a spiritual message, and it's just really fun, campy thing. But a 24-hour video channel would be really good. And my friend Lee Cara has tons of videos that she can play all night long.
I know.
So she can just run loop videos that are healing. Yeah, she's great. Yeah,
I think it's a great idea.
And so
you should pursue it.
Yeah,
you should pursue that.
Thank you, Starseed TV, y'all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
and I'll coordinate it with. There's some talented Starseed Lightworkers out there. You know, some of the people you have on your show are very talented and gifted. You know, we're all gifted. We all have these beautiful creation, you know, genes in us, and we got to put them to work, right? And we could get our juices going and like create some really good entertainment. It could be like solid, like super solid, like really good. You turn on Starseed TV and you know you're going to get some quality programming, right? Something spiritual and helpful and healing would be presented instead of some bullshit with explosions and guns and
that's all going away. Yeah, that's great. You should pursue that. You should pursue that. Yeah, man, I'm really glad that we got to sit down after all these years. I enjoy popping in when you're playing the guitar, and I appreciate your support always. I see you out in the field all the time, you know, and I'm just glad that we got to make this connection and people got to know you a little bit better.
Thank you, brother Todd. I can't say enough. I really have to give a props out to you because you doing the work, man. You put in the time and you do it like 4 shows a day some days, and I'm just like, wow, Todd is on it. You are such a hard worker, and you created this beautiful craft for yourself, and it's amazing the work that you've done. I just can't thank you enough, Todd. You're really a visionary and a true leader in this community.
Well, I appreciate that. Let me just remind you that I'm half of this equation.
Morgan too. Yeah. Morgan, love you, Morgan. Morgan,
I do too.
True.
Hey, man. It was beautiful. You take care, and I wish you the best on everything you're doing. All blessings to you and yours, man. Thank you so much for the for that healing too.